Hello everybody, my name is Justin and I'm here to make a grilled cheese to show you the proper way to do it, or just my take on it. Because after seeing what Robert had done in demolishing the name of grilled cheese, I felt the need to revive it. So let's get started. We're going to be making a tomato and bacon brie and Vermont cheddar cheese grilled cheese sandwich. So first starts, we have to do the bacon. So let's start with that. Alright, now here I've got 4 slabs of bacon. We're going to do two slabs for each slice of each sandwich. Now bacon is good just by itself, but what we're going to do is we're going to dress it up a little with fresh black pepper and some cumin. Cumin has a nice smoky flavor. You just want to sprinkle it on there. Real light, you don't need too much because cumin packs a punch. And it's going to give the bacon a very nice smoky texture. You want to use a lot of fresh black pepper. A lot of people use pre-ground pepper because they don't like to do this. It's an injustice. The flavor of fresh pepper is just incomparable. Alright, now you'll see here that I have the bacon put on a cookie sheet, and it's on a wire rack. It's because we are going to bake our bacon at 400 degrees for about 10-15 minutes. The reason you bake your bacon is because it will cook evenly. It won't shrivel up in a pan or to where you have raw parts and burnt parts. It'll be nice and even. And the fat is going to drip down into the pan, and we can make use of that. This way, we get the best of both worlds. You get the bacon flavor, and we're going to get the fat too. Alright, so let's give that about 10-15 minutes. Alright, now our bacon is done. As you can see, the bacon is nice, it's limp, it's cooked. That is fully cooked. When bacon is hard and crispy, it's burnt. This is what cooked bacon should look like. It should be slightly fatty, slightly greasy. That's how it goes. Okay, so now we have to grate our cheese. So let's get some cheese out. I'm going to do 2 cheeses: Vermont cheddar and brie. Now, brie is a French soft ripened cheese. It's very soft, which is why I stuck it in the freezer, because we are going to grate the cheese. When you're working with a really soft cheese and you're going to grate it, it usually falls apart in your hand. So it pays to partially freeze it. It makes it easier to grate. So let's get our grater out. On the brie, you want to use a fine cut, real fine grate. Go right ahead and grate it, the wax and all. It's not going to kill you. Now, the brie is a really good cheese. It's real salty. It's got a nice tang to it. It's going to give our sandwich a unique characteristic. It's going to give it some character. Don't need a lot. Just kind of get it out there with your hand. Yeah, that's plenty. That'll work. Okay, now we're going to use Vermont cheddar. Vermont cheddar is a very, very sharp white cheddar cheese. You can find it in yellow. We're going to use a medium grade on this instead of fine. Just go right ahead and cut it. This cheese you don't really have to freeze because it's already pretty hard. A little bit. Perfect. Now we've got our brie and we've got our Vermont cheddar. Alright, next. You'll notice here that I have got some garlic. An interesting tidbit about garlic. When you're cooking with garlic, what you want is you never want to refrigerate it. If you refrigerate it, garlic will go bitter. You never want to use that pre-ground stuff that's been rotting in jars of olive oil either. You want to use fresh garlic. And you want to keep it away from the light in a nice dry area. Same thing with tomatoes. If you refrigerate tomatoes, their flavor shuts down. Because think about it. When you go to the grocery store, where do you buy these things? Are they refrigerated, or are they just out on a rack? They're out on a rack. You don't buy them refrigerated. So don't refrigerate. Okay. So we're going to give this garlic just a rough chop. Careful not to cut your fingers. And when you cut, it's important to keep your hands like this, so when the blade comes down, you miss your tips of your fingers. You won't cut yourself. So just go ahead and give it a little chop. Alright, and now we are going to heat up a nice skillet. We're going to start our burner getting hot. You'll notice here, now ideally you want to use a cast iron skillet. But you'll notice here that I am using a non-stick skillet because I don't have cast iron. When you use a non-stick skillet, this material in the skillet will give off harmful fumes to small animals. So whenever you're using it on a stovetop, never turn the burner all the way up. Medium, medium-high at the most. When you use non-stick and you turn it all the way up, that's bad. Just thought you should know. And here's another tidbit. A lot of people will use margarine instead of butter. This is a mistake. This is a very bad mistake because margarine is not butter. It's an imitation to butter. It has a very high fat concentrate, more than butter. It is not as butter is actually healthier for you. And butter has a nicer, nuttier flavor than margarine. If you don't know what I am talking about, experiment with the two, and you will learn. That's about a tablespoon worth. And we're going to stick it right in the skillet. We're going to let it melt. We're going to let it melt and foam. And when it starts smelling nutty, that's when we're going to cook with. Let's talk about bread. I have here a deli rye bread. This is marble rye. It goes good with grilled cheese. It's a very sturdy bread. The crust is very sturdy. This will brown nicely. It's not going to fall apart like Wonder Bread will. So let's get it out. And now for 2 sandwiches. Okay, 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. Now also here I have another tablespoon of butter. What we're going to do is we're going to spread that on the bread. So let's get out a knife. Okay. You can see our butter has already mostly melted. So what we're going to do is hot pad. We're going to move the bacon over here to the cutting board. Pick this up, put this on the side. Now there's a lot of lovely bacon fat in there. You just kind of hold this up and just pour it right into the pan. Because we're going to fry these sandwiches in butter and bacon fat. It's going to give it a very nice taste to the bread. Okay. So let that heat up a little. Oh, no. Keep that. We're going to use it again.